So, Bob, Charles Reid Barnes Award. Barnes was credited with starting the American Society of Plant Physiologists. He's also noted for his research contributions as well as his teaching and service to publishing scientific research.
Right.
So, what motivated you to be interested in plant research in the first place?
Well, when I went to Ohio University, 55 or 60 years ago, they had zoology, bacteriology, and botany. And I had a fabulous professor, Norman Cohn, who was in the botany department. And I took his introduction to biology class my fall semester as a freshman, and he was just amazing. And for some strange, weird reason, he asked me to work in his lab, and I'd never worked in a lab before. And I was very intrigued by it. And he was a cytogeneticist, now a cell biologist, and had worked with a very famous plant cell biologist by the name of C.P. Swanson at Johns Hopkins as a postdoc. And I thought that this was kind of intriguing. And that's where I actually met Ralph Quattrano, because Ralph was my teaching assistant in that class. And so it's a small world.
So, were there any other teachers you had that were particularly
Well,
impactful on your career?
yeah, I think Norm was a mentor my entire career until he died about 3 or 4 years ago. He was an amazing guy. His wife Peggy was the dean of the honors college, which I was a student in, and she was an amazing mentor as well. But then I think my professors in graduate school at the University of Arizona in plant genetics, Al Siegel, who was a pioneer in plant virology, working with the tobacco mosaic virus, and his colleague Milt Zeitlin, they were really transformative in terms of introducing me to research and how to answer and delve into really fascinating questions. And we dabbled with some of the first DNA studies ever done with plants way back when in the 60s. And then, of course, my postdoc mentor, Eric Davidson, my very close friend who passed away 5, 6 years ago. I miss tremendously. He probably had the biggest influence on me, along with his colleague, Roy Britton, and got me into doing what we would consider now genomics, but these were the first genomics experiments once I finished my postdoc with plants when I started my own position.
So I imagine it's pretty obvious from what you just said, but why has teaching always been such an important aspect of your professional career?
Well, that's a really great question, and my students ask me that all the time, Brian. It's one of the most pressing questions I get to from my undergraduates. I think I've always been passionate about teaching because it was a response to really poor education in terms of classroom education. I think although I had some fabulous mentors, I think in those days, back in the 60s, and even before when I was in high school, most of the teachers and the professors weren't very exciting. And many of them turned me off to things that maybe I'd be really excited about. And so I was determined to try and counter that in my little small way by trying to do the most exciting and engaging teaching that I was able to do as an academic, as a young assistant professor, and then moving up the ranks. And the idea was that teaching is just like science. You experiment with different methods, and I experimented with almost everything I could think of. It was pretty radical back in the day, and really enjoy engaging undergraduates and graduate students as well in really timely topics and teaching them how to think and teaching about the importance of science.
Well, I think your career has really been a real tribute to the things that Barnes cared about, and congratulate you on receiving the award this year.
Thanks, Brian. Really appreciate it. Huge honor. Can't tell you how really appreciative I am of the society and this honor and everything that goes with it.